Okay, what we're going to do is have, from this point on, a lot of graphs and things that we're going to analyze that. Okay, we're going to be taking information and putting it all in some kind of a chart, a graph, organizing it where we can make predictions and so on. So today what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this chart, and I'm going to have y'all work together and do these, and then we're going to use that information to answer some questions. Okay, we're going to use a calculator and different things to do it. When you are trying to find your information, one thing you have to find is a distance, and the other one you're going to find is a cost. So if we're looking for the cost, you're going to have a sheet that looks similar to this. You'll find whatever your destination is, which you'll be able to read it better, so it'll be on your desk. This one right above it is where the cost is, okay? Not the one that's down here below, like the top of the page. This one, wherever you're going from your origination point to your destination. That one says actually Bluewater Kilgore to Dallas Fort Worth, and it's $152. Okay, so that's what you'd be looking for when you're looking for your distances. There are a few of these that have a layover. One of them asks you for New Orleans to Seattle. If you're looking for New Orleans to Seattle, it goes to Dallas, then from Dallas to Seattle. So it's one cost, but it has a layover as far as time, so it's going to look a little bit different. The other thing we're going to be looking for is distances. So for the back of the packet that you're going to be looking at, it has air distance between different cities. So if you're looking for maybe from Dallas to Boston, you're going to find it just like you want a multiplication table, that this is where it matches, 1,551. And so there's our distance. If you can't find it here, you can find the other direction. It doesn't matter which one you're looking for. So if you wanted to look at this from Denver or from Dallas to Houston, you got 225. Or you can go from Houston and look the other direction. You're going to be able to find them either way. Okay, from top to bottom. That's where they match up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you this other paper, and you're going to fill in some of these. We're going to do the first one and help you find it, but you're going to kind of work together because I'm not going to copy all of the information sheets for everybody because you can kind of work together and find them. From Chicago to Charlotte, you're looking for the cost, okay? So you're going to look at your paper here. And we want to go to the cost one, which is going to be this one. And I think it's at the bottom of the second page for those of you that have it. So from Chicago, Charlotte. Here. From Chicago to Charlotte is going to be that amount. Somebody look at that second page and tell me what that means. 255. Okay. So on our table, on everybody's paper, right here, we want to put 255. And then from Dallas to St. Louis, you need the cost and the mileage for both. So I'm going to give you some time. I want you to work together. Okay, we should have 547 and 120. 200. Just go in again and check to make sure that you have them all. What?
I like that.
Okay.
What do you say?
While you're doing those, I'm going to pick up the
Okay.
sheets because you don't need them.
Oh, wait.
Okay, once you have your list, look up here. We're going to use this information to answer some questions. One said, if you look at the tables, is there a pattern in the table? No, I mean, if you look at those numbers, you really don't see a pattern, okay? If you're thinking about cost and distance, you may think of one. There's really not one visible. Okay, look on the back of that paper. It says enter your calculator, but we're going to wait and do that tomorrow for time's sake because we want to put it on here. A couple things I want to point out. If you are trying to do a scatter plot, which is basically a graph, we need to know that along the X is always your first column. Okay, so our X value here is going to be our distance. And right up beside it, independent. You're going to see that over and over and over. I want you to see that all the time. X is independent. Distance is what comes first. How much it costs depends on your distance. So cost is dependent. Do we have any negative values for cost or distance? No. So we're going to start at 0 for both. This is the biggest problem that we have throughout the rest of the year. Is how do we set our window, okay, or our domain and range for our numbers? Well, if we're talking about distance, what is your largest distance that you have on your table?
269.
Okay, 2699. So, if I'm talking about distance in miles, what would be a reasonable amount of miles that we would want? That's like an increment that's even, not an odd number. I could do 2,700, or I could do 3,000, because that's going to be easy to split up. Half of 3,000 is 1,500. Okay, half of 1,500 is 750. Okay, so it's in here. And so we can split up our numbers on our graph. You should be writing. So figure out, you could even said 4,000. What you don't want to do is like 10,000. That's way too big. Or 2,000. That's too little. You want something that's going to cover your numbers, but is not going to be too big. So I've got it at 0. You could split 750 up even farther if you wanted to, but 750, 1,500, 2,250, and 3,000.
So, can we do it?
Oh, okay. Okay, so the cost. Cost depends on distance. It goes up our left side, it's our Y value. So for our cost, what's the largest cost value? Okay, $299. So what would be a good cost to go up to? 300, okay? Or you could go up higher if you wanted, but 300 will work.
So the bottom doesn't have to be exact.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You just should make it exact.
Well, I mean, I'm estimating halfway is for 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 750. And so here, if I had half of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 75. This one's going to be 225. Okay, so you can get an idea of where your numbers are going to be. Can we tell a trend or a pattern? What's happening? No, actually it's not.
What's going on?
What's going up? What does the point mean? As distance increases, what happens to the cost? They're all both going up, right? Look up here and listen. As cost increases, or as distance increases, cost is increasing. So when you look at this question right here, does the graph show a pattern? Yes. As cost increases, as distance increases, cost increases. When we're talking about these, says, does the graph show a pattern? Okay, yes. We said it was positive. As distance increase, cost increase. If one had been increasing, the other had been decreasing, like maybe you buy tickets, the more tickets you buy, the less each one costs. You're buying in bulk. Okay, I know some sporting events do that. That would be a negative correlation. Then it wants to know, can you use the table or graph to make a prediction about the cost between two cities that are 700 miles apart? What do you think? We're talking about 700 miles apart. Can I predict what it would cost?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could say it's going to be somewhere around 180, something like that, 175, 180. We're going to look at this in the calculator tomorrow and we'll see a little bit more exact. But yeah, you can. So the whole point is that if we are analyzing information and we can put it in an organized manner, then we can make predictions about what this is. And we can say, yes, like for here, it'd be approximately $180. That thing means approximately, or kind of. So that's our point, is that if we're making, for analyzing data, we're making